I would like to call the Finance, Ways and Means Appropriations Subcommittee to order for Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Representatives Barrett, Baum, Boyd, Freeman, Hazelwood, Hicks, Kiesling, Lynn, Miller, Sparks, Zachary, Chairman Williams.
Thank you. Are there any personal words for the members before we start? Okay. Today we'll hear presentations of appropriation amendment requests by the members that wish to present their amendments. These amendment presentations are for informational purposes, and so votes will not be taken today. We will be taking the members in order of which they arrived to the committee room. Our staff has been making a list as you come in the door. In some instances, other members of other committees or members of leadership will come and go to their other committees, and those members will be taken out of order as in which they arrive. This process today gives the members the opportunity to advocate for their amendments, which will be taken in consideration by finance chairs. The amendments are graded based upon local, regional, and statewide applications. We request that the members prioritize their amendments as they come today. And as you approach the podium or the chairs in front of us, which we will use today, we ask that you let the members of the committee know the page number and the item number in which you hope to present today and the order in which you're doing it. We're requesting, in an effort to try to move amendments through the committee process in this hearing, that the members try to keep their comments per amendment 30 seconds or less. And so we appreciate you coming. Do the members have any questions on the committee before we go out of session? Seeing none, we are going out of session. First on the docket today is Leader Lamberth. Leader Lamberth, you are recognized. Please, a page number and amendment number for the members. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, and I will try to keep each of mine under 30 seconds. If I may have just a very quick motion of personal privilege. I have some students here from Westmoreland High School and their teachers. If y'all will stand, please, make these kids welcome. They're fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. They just came down.
One moment, Leader. I appreciate that. Just as a way of housekeeping, Alexander, first chair right here. Representative Alexander. Next chair, Hakeem. Representative Hakeem. Next chair, Representative Butler. Next chair there, Representative or Chairman Bricken. And then finishing out that table, Martin and Martin. So thank you. And Leader, you're recognized.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for taking me up. I know Chairman Doggett next door will appreciate it as well. Mr. Chairman, I'm on page 13. It's item number 169. To begin with, this funds the operational core instructional programs at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center. It's $10.7 million. And in this day and age, we need all of the health options that we can get for folks, and that is what that is for. I'm just going to run down mine real quick, Mr. Chairman, if I may.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 170 on page 13 is for a raise for our judicial assistants. This has been something that's been out there for several years. It's $1.8 million in recurring funding. These folks work really hard, and lots of folks throughout state government have gotten raises, but our judicial secretaries have not. Item number 171 is youth villages. If you're not familiar with this, I would ask the members of the committee at some point, just look this organization up. They help prevent gun violence at a time in our state when we are wrestling with things that would be real solutions to gun violence. These folks are on street level out there advocating and guiding young people through programs that genuinely prevent all types of violence, but particularly gun violence. It's $12 million as the ask for youth villages. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has been inundated with requests for, item number 172 is the next one on page 13, inundated with expungement requests. They are low on staff, and while we have funded a great amount of the TBI's mission this year, the expungement staff specifically needs additional resources. On the next page, Mr. Chairman, page 14, item number 173, We have a lot of money in the proposed budget for airports. No doubt about it, both large and small. But the city of Portland has an airport they desperately need an upgrade to. It would be a $2 million one-time request that would significantly improve that airport. Item number 174 is also on page 14. This comes directly from the city of Hendersonville. Exit 8 at Vietnam's Veterans Boulevard has a crossing where the city and the state and the county are working together to try to improve safety there. That project's probably about a $25 million project, but I would like to try to partner with our local colleagues there to see if we could improve safety at that particular area. So item number 175 is specifically from TDEC. It is in the AA. It's 2.7 million for Sabine Hill. That's not really my request. A lot of these are not specifically from me. They're from organizations that came to me, like they will come to many of you and ask for a budget amendment. This one comes from the Historic Commission, and that's the next project on their list to try to preserve our historic sites. It is not in my district. It is about as far from my district as you can get. In fact, I'm not even sure whose district it's in, but it is the next one down on the list of historic sites that Tennessee owns that I feel like we need to preserve. So it is in the AA. I'm glad they put that in there. This next one is a little closer to my district at least, but it's also from the Tennessee Historical Commission, item number 176. It is for some planning dollars, $200,000 for 3 sites that are in the northern portion of Sumner County of 3 state historic sites that currently are not improved. They're really good sites, and the Historical Commission would like to spend $200,000. It's just barely outside of my district, so I'm familiar with the sites. Representative Lynn probably is as well. But they're really wonderful, a lot of history, but there's not the type of structure there to show them off. This would not provide the structure, but it would at least provide the planning dollars for them to move forward and figure out a way to really combine those 3 sites. Item number 177, and I'm about 2/3 of the way done. I apologize. I'm trying to go quick. I know you've got a long calendar. Item number 177 on page 14 is the Jason Foundation. There is some money in the proposed budget for the Jason Foundation. If you're not familiar with them, they're a national organization that's based in Hendersonville. They're right here in Tennessee, but you will see them work throughout the nation to try to prevent youth suicide. Unfortunately, the suicide numbers for youth are up significantly, and their work is more critical now than it's ever been. And so the Jason Foundation, everything we can do for this one and the next one would be greatly appreciated. And so item number 206 and 207 are both for the Jason Foundation. Item number 208 on page 14 is Live Like Lou. If you're not familiar with ALS, this is $1.5 million to try to help them with research. We have a former colleague and dear friend of ours that is battling this horrible disease right now. And I feel like we need to do everything we can as a state to try to help fund true cures. All they can do pretty much right now is slow ALS down. So Lou Gehrig's disease is what you've heard it referred to. I've lost a couple different friends to this horrible, horrible disease. And there's just, I don't know, anything we can do to help, I think would be beneficial, but it's $1.5 million in non-recurring. I have a couple more here and then I'm done. Air carrier support, there is specifically money in the budget. Chairman Howell and I had brought this in case in the AA there was not a proposed amount of additional funding for airports. This is $125 million recurring ask. I know that we probably will not hit that mark, but as much as we can spend on our air carrier infrastructure, I feel like the better we are as a state. I have project return at item number 197. This is specifically for employment programs and wraparound services. It's 1.6 million. It's for folks that are coming out of prison to try to do everything we can to make sure they do not come back. And then last on my list, Mr. Chairman, on page 14, at item number 182, if you have not been to the Hermitage, I recommend that you visit it and wander a bit. Don't go just to the Hermitage. Look at the surrounding buildings. Look at the fact that there's gutters that are falling out. Look at the fact that there's paint peeling. Look at the fact that they don't have what they need to really store even their maintenance, devices and equipment. $15 million is a one-time ask for the Hermitage. I would like to say, while this does not show up on our lists of historic sites, it is a state historic site. It is managed by a private entity, but if they ever are unable to manage the Hermitage, from what I understand, it reverts back to the state of Tennessee. $15 million for the number of people that go see the Hermitage every year, a one-time request on that, is a bargain at twice the price, in my humble opinion. And Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Leader Lambert. Appreciate it very much. And Speaker Tim Marsh, if you'll go to the podium, I'll come to you after Alexander. Representative Alexander, you are recognized. Page number and item number, please.
Page number 1, item number 1, Appalachian Producers Cooperative. What this is a meat processing facility that we are building in our region, and it will, what we're asking for, it will cost us probably about $10 million total. We're asking for $500,000 to buy some additional cooler space that we already know we need, and we've not even broken ground yet. Item number 2, also on page 1, Tennessee Association of Fairs, asking for a total amount of $3 million non-recurring, with grants to be provided by the Tennessee Association of Fairs, which will, the $3 million will be made to the Department of Agriculture, with the purpose of grants being sent to the Tennessee Association of Fairs, allowing $300,000 for the state fair and $125,000 for each regional fair, and the remaining to be divided up for the other fairs. Then item number 3, also on page 1, City of Jonesboro requesting for the renovation of the Jackson Theater. It's a theater that we have been working on to restore in historic Jonesboro. We need help with purchasing chairs and drapes and stuff for the inside of that building so we can complete it. Item number 4, is also a fair request within the Appalachian Regional Fair. It's an APPY project. It's where we educate the kids in our area on what it means to be a farm and how farming works. That concludes my presentation. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Committee.
Thank you, Representative Alexander. I will say before we go to Speaker Pro Tem Marsh, these projects that we have on the list here, I think I mentioned earlier, but just thought I would mention the members, the chairman of the committee might approach the members and let them know about existing pools of money. I noticed it in one of yours, there are existing pools of money through CBDG grants or downtown revitalization projects that we have. There's a current grant process in place for those. So the members may see you, of the committee may see you after and give you some clearer direction if in those instances where we're not able to fund those projects. So thank you very much. Speaker Pro Tem, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My items are 185. There's 4 of them on page 14 at the bottom. This was a community clinic of Shelbyville and Bedford County. They do free, somewhat free dental work. They partner with Meharry Dental School. They need money to pay Meharry students a small amount for each person that they work on in the dentist area. They serve low income, underinsured, and uninsured people. So $100,000 for that would be very important to our citizens. Item number 186 is the City of Shelbyville for the assistance with sewer going up our 231 to our Shelbyville Airport. Very important for our community, for industrial recruitment, and for the airport and MTSU moving their aeronautics division to our airport. We need $5 million for our sewer. Item number 187 on page 15 is the City of Fayetteville. That one is, I'm getting some help with the governor's amendment, so I think that one's going to be in pretty good shape. Item number 188, the City of Shelbyville, $250,000 for sidewalks and restroom facilities at the River Bottom Park adjacent to Shelbyville Square. With that, I really appreciate your help.
Thank you, Speaker. Appreciate you being here today. Next on my list, Representative Hakeem.
Thank you, Rick. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can hear you fine.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members. Page 7, item number 95. This is the Bessie Smith Cultural Center. We are in the process of planning the upgrade of the Bessie Smith Cultural Center, and we're working with both the city and the county. We're asking these funds to assist in this process. What we do, some of the things we do at the Bessie Smith Cultural Center deals with history, heritage, and culture, and where we're uplifting history from various cultures within our community. And We're seeking the help and support to get this job done.
Thank you, Representative. I believe that's the only one you filed. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Representative Sherrill, you're recognized. Representative Sherrill is in another committee. That's why he's up here. Representative Hawk, if you'll take the first chair there, and Representative McKenzie, where Representative Hakeem just left. Representative Sherrill, you're recognized.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman and Committee. Be House Bill, 0132, which is in Warren County. This is to help the senior citizens facility there in Warren County with commercial equipment like dishwashers and different machines that they need in the senior citizens there, which is $20,000. And then number 131, which is
Members, we're on
administrative
page
office.
17. You may continue.
I'm sorry. The next one is 131, which is Administrative Office of the Courts in the 13th District, which provides funding for a magistrate position for in the 13th District in the Upper Cumberland, $246,800. Thank you.
Thank you, committee. This appropriation request is on behalf of Morgan County Economic Development Board for a package wastewater treatment plant at Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, which has become a tremendous revenue source for the county for tourism. And it's right now they're having to haul all their sewage off to a treatment facility. So this would provide them the ability to do that themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Any questions for Representative? Seeing none. Next on list, Chairman Bricken, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's on page 1, items 7 and 8. As the new representative for Grundy County, I certainly would like to show them some help. The first one is for $183,200 to replace an ambulance in Grundy County. They currently operate 3 ambulances that have got 300,000 to 400,000 miles. One of them is just totally unoperable. So this certainly would go a long ways to helping that county with that service. The second one is for $10 million for the Pelham exit in the Pelham Valley at exit 127. And it's for the put in water and sewer. Again, Grundy County is one of the state's most distressed counties. The Pelham Valley certainly is the area that can be economically developed if it has water and sewer. And this is certainly what the purpose of that money would do. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Quick question on the last one. Does that current sewer and water systems, would this upgrade overwhelm the current system's water treatment plant or intake if you were to extend it, or is part of this to upgrade those systems?
It is an upgrade of an existing, they have a what I would call a private one in their small industrial park. So it's to expand that to run up to extend water to the exit and up the valley to what's known as the caverns. So it would really just totally vitalize, I guess the right term, the whole Pelham Valley and allow it to hopefully prosper. So
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Next up, Representative Hawk. Representative Hawk, if you would, I'm sorry, I'm taking out of order. I was actually trying to stay ahead of myself and I didn't do a very good job of that. Representative Crawford, are you here? I didn't see him. He's in another committee. All right. Recognize, Representative Bricken, not Bricken, Representative Martin, you're recognized.
Thank you, sir. 189, and this is amendment number 64. I'm speaking on behalf of the Gibson County Memorial Library today. We're requesting funds for a new library. The state-of-the-art building would allow us to serve more people. Currently 22,000 we serve. This would almost double that in size. Currently, the biggest part of this is community buy-in. We already have $1 million from the county, as well as over 200,000 from local friend to library, as well as a plot of land that's been donated for this project. We have a ton of momentum in this operation, and this appropriation would allow us to accomplish our goals of leaving a lasting impact for generations in the form of this library. We thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Representative Martin Brock. Representative Martin Gregg, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. Page 15, item 190 is requesting money for the Adult and Teen Challenge of the Mid-South to help with their, helping people that have gone through their alcohol and drug rehabilitation program to be able to find jobs. This is an organization in our community that when people graduate from it, 84% of them continue to be free. They have a success rate unlike anything else that I'm aware of. And this is to help these people be able to transition back into the workforce and to be able to have the coaching and mentoring they need to help them be productive tax-paying citizens in our community. And I'd appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, Representative Martin. Excited about the good work Teen Challenge does across the state. Thank you for that today. Before we go to Chairman Hawk, beside of McKenzie, Representative Capley, Representative Fritz, Representative Tim Hicks, and Dr. Terry. What's next? Chairman Hawk, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chairman and committee members. We're on page number 9. I've got a few items on that page. I want to begin with item number 123, number drafting code, item number 123, the Department of Human Services. What we're looking for is to try to help each of our human resource agencies. Many of you serve on the boards of human resource agencies. You see the tremendous work that we do, working with our seniors, working with Meals on Wheels, working with other ways to help our communities in a very broad and wide way. Each of our 9 human resource agencies are looking for $1 million for capital improvements. It's to improve whatever they need in each of those. As I look to help statewide with these budget amendments, this is certainly one that affects all of our districts. The next two I've got, both item number 122 and jumping to item 124, are Le Bonheur Community Outreach organizations, but they are statewide applications. They are grants for each of our children's hospitals, the Children's Hospital Network across the state for behavioral health and mental health services. As we heard the governor's press conference yesterday, there are some dollars that are going to be attributed to this. This is the whole dollar amount that these children's hospitals feel they need to accomplish what needs to be done. I think we're going to be discussing putting a substantial amount of money toward it. Anything we can do toward these mental health issues for our children will be welcome. And this is a way to accomplish that, Chairman and members.
Thank you, Chairman Hawk. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Representative McKenzie, if you'll hold on one second. Deputy Speaker Johnson, if you'll go to the podium, you'll be up after McKenzie. Representative McKenzie, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My item is on page 15, item 191. The Beck Cultural Enrichment Center it started out as a house, James and Ethel Beck's house, and it's just grown to what's become East Tennessee's collection place for African American history. And as an example, these funds will go to help fund a Buford Delaney house. And he was an artist that grew up in the Greene and Hamilton County areas, had a lot of family in La Follette, but became a world-renowned artist in France and during the Harlem Renaissance. So they're actually wanting to create an artist in residence program, but also to try to continue to get the histories from these pockets of African American communities that kind of exist throughout East Tennessee. It's fairly scattered, and they have a huge collections there. But we want to continue that project. So, in a nutshell, that's what these funds will go to assist with.
Thank you, Representative McKenzie.
Thank you.
Yeah. Deputy Speaker Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Page 12, item 158 would be $1,960,000 recurring to provide funding for salaries, benefits, and benefits for 5 new trial court judges. Number 159 is $33 million non-recurring for a drawdown for federal funds to support nursing home reimbursement rates and help those facilities with staffing and other expenses. Number 160 is $250,000 for administrative and operating expenses for the hiring of a second auditor. And this hiring position, if this hiring position is authorized. That's the Bureau of Ethics and Campaign Finance. Item number 161, 800,000 recurring to be used in all three grand divisions to provide professional behavioral health services for military veterans, reservists, and members of the National Guard and their families across the state of Tennessee with the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic at Centerstone. And on page 113, item 162, $750,000 for Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Tennessee for a statewide mentoring program. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Next on the list, Representative Capley, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am on page 3 here, item number 36. I'm requesting $20,000 for updates and renovations to local baseball field and facilities at Collinwood High School in Wayne County. Mr. Chairman and committee, the concession stand in Collinwood, when it was built several years ago, the surrounding area around it now, the foundation has sunk about 3 inches into the ground. So anytime that it rains, mud and sludge gets into the bathrooms and into the main area of the concession stand, which basically makes it extremely difficult for the community to be able to operate its concession stand. So I'm asking for this amount for dirt work and also some updates to their field house. Right now, some of the young men are not able to use the restrooms, so they have to find other means. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. That's a first, Representative Capley. We appreciate you being here. Before we go to Representative Fritz, Chairman Sapicki in the first chair, Chairman Grills in the next chair, and Chairman White in the third chair. Representative Fritz, you are recognized. Could you check your microphone for me, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think I'm on now.
Yes, sir.
I have 7 items on page number 6. I'd like to start by withdrawing item number 79 and item number 81. Item number 79, Senator Yeager and I met with the county executive. They're going to be unable to execute against those dollars, so there's no need in asking for them. In order of priority, I'll start with item number 83 for Lenoir City. This is for the Lenoir City Public Safety Department. This tower will allow both interdiction and evacuation training for the police and fire departments in Lenoir City. Lenoir City is a rapidly growing town in my district. This will allow multi-level interdiction training, stairwells and landings, and roof ingress by the police departments. It will also allow the same for fire and EMT, both for extinguishing fires and evacuating people that may be trapped inside. This is tremendously important for hospitals, schools, and hotels in that area so that we can maintain that training organic to Lenoir City. They will use that with all of Loudoun County and surrounding area. Item number 2 for me is 78 on our list. I'll say again 78. And that's for the Tennessee Board of Regents for expanding the seating in the Roane State Community College Exposition Center. We currently have rodeos and other livestock events at that center. This will fully complete the plan and be an economic boom for our area and allow for greater venues to come in. Priority number 3 for me would be item number 84, Mr. Chairman, on the list. And that is again for Lenoir City, and it's for the purchase and use of an emergency vehicle operations course driving simulator. This will allow the police, fire department, and EMT elements of Lenoir City and Loudoun County to be able to train to the full extent of the training without exposing themselves to risk in cars and the wear and tear on those vehicles and fire trucks and et cetera. This is going to be a tremendous thing to help maintain the proficiency of our police officers and firefighters in that area. Item number 4 is 82, or priority number 4 is item number 82 on your list, Mr. Chairman. And that shows a price tag of $6 million going to the Department of Environment and Conservation. That is incorrect. It should be Economic and Community Development. This is for installation of bioacoustic fish fences at the upper basin of the Tennessee River. We currently have an Asian carp problem in West Tennessee. That problem is migrating upstream through the Tennessee River. We have a plan in place that will install two sets of these bath systems on the Tennessee River. This budget request is designed to put the state's part of the funding in place to be able to install one of those at either Chickamauga or at Watts Bar. TVA in 2017 estimated that we get $1 million per mile of shoreline revenue along our river system. These fish put this in great jeopardy. This is an attempt to prevent the entry of those fish into the upper basin. This would be protective for Ray, Roane, Loudoun, Anderson, Knox, and Blount counties, and I suspect many more. Item number 5 priority number 5 is item number 80 on your list. I'm going to modify that request to $100,000. This is very basically to do a cost benefit analysis for direct access from the city of Rockwood to the city of Rockwood Airport located on the Cumberland Plateau. There is a motorsports venue coming into Cumberland County that's going to bring lots of airport traffic to the Rockwood Airport. We currently don't have a direct access. We either have to go out of the county to get there or travel almost 20 miles on the interstate. That's going to result in an impact to Rockwood's revenue. The other part of this $100,000 would then conclude with an options analysis for the city of Rockwood for any potential options to help them access and better utilize their airport. With that, I'll close, and thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative. Appreciate it very much. Representative Hicks, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All these items are on page 11. First up is item number 145. This amendment is a request to keep the money we appropriated last year when we expanded the statewide opioid addiction program in our recovery courts and jails. This budget amendment would ask to keep the balance of $2 million non-reoccurring dollars through the state legislator that appropriated it last year to be transferred over to this year's budget to pay for the use of Vivitrol in the state's drug courts and jails. Vivitrol is used for patients addicted to opioids or alcohol, and it aids in the treatment process without using opioids for treatment addiction. So it's important that we try to keep that going for this next year. The next item is 147. And this is 180 Ministries. This is a great nonprofit that helps with life skills and spiritual training. All of this is done through hard work. They really put these guys to work. They currently are working 56 men. Most of these folks, or all these folks, are either coming out of jail, prison, or addiction treatment centers. 180 works with local sober living facilities and provides transportation to and from work, and they really are making a difference in the lives of folks recovering from addiction. It's a very important item in Northeast Tennessee. The next is item number 149. This amendment is for Oak Hill Cemetery, friends, and volunteers. Oak Hill Cemetery was established in 1870. The significant citizens buried there are Henry Johnson, founder of Johnson City, Sam Sales, former congressman and founder of General Shell, Colonel Leroy Reeves. Has anybody ever heard of Colonel Leroy Reeves? He designed the Tennessee state flag. It's very interesting. Also has one person buried there from the War of 1812, 77 from the Civil War, 10 from the Spanish-American War, 58 from World War I, and 56 from World War II. This money would be used to maintain and enhance the cemetery. A large number of people that's buried at this site actually no longer have relatives living in the area, so we need to try to keep it up. It's important to the state of Tennessee. Next up is item number 150, which is a community help center of Northeast Tennessee. That's a food pantry, and it really helps our rural communities in Northeast Tennessee, and it would be for building repairs and purchase of food. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, committee.
Thank you, Representative Hicks. Dr. Terry, Dr. Chairman, Representative Terry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman and committee. And The item I have is item number 232 on page 18. And I'm asking for 16 million in non-recurring funds to establish a regional forensic center in Rutherford County. And the current situation is that we have 5 regional forensic centers in Tennessee, and that has been unchanged in the past 20 years, despite our exponential growth. So there's a dire need for an additional regional forensic center in the Middle Tennessee region because of this explosive population growth, because of the continued drug overdose crisis and our lack of body surge capacity. They'll be looking to partner with MTSU's Forensic Institute of Research and Education and the Office of the State Medical Examiner to provide needed quality medical legal death investigation training as well. Rutherford County is able to provide the land and provide the oversight and operating costs. And so what they're looking at for the $16 million is to have a facility, 2-story facility with state-of-the-art autopsy suite, full body x-ray and imaging room, anthropology room, refrigerated storage for at least 100 bodies, evidence processing and storage rooms, high-tech training rooms, an office space for the medical examiners, and a family assistance area. And I'd appreciate y'all's consideration.
Thank you, Dr. Terry. Before we start with Chairman Sapicki, Littleton, Vital, Burkhart on those last 3 chairs there. Chairman Sapicki, you are recognized. Page number and item number. Microphone, please, sir.
Page 3, item 39. Chairman and committee, this is a request for $250,000 non-recurring for a Miracle League baseball field in Murray County, along with an all-inclusive playground. I've grown up my whole life being able to play baseball and had the privilege of playing at the highest levels. And there are those children and individuals that don't have this opportunity, but they should have the opportunity to be able to play baseball if they so desire. We are working very hard in Murray County. I think we've raised over $1.3 million to accomplish this task. This $250,000 non-recurring grant would allow us to finish the project and get it built for these children in a timely manner. That's the request, Mr. Chairman, committee. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chairman. Has the property already been determined?
Murray County Park has donated it.
Okay, thank you. Chairman Grills, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. The first here is on page 7, item 92, 93, and 94, and we'll go in order if that's okay. We're asking for a universal use building to put at the fairgrounds of Dyer County, be the Northwest Tennessee Agriplex, for uses such as rodeos, concerts, volleyball, monster trucks, and other events that would help enhance the lives of Northwest Tennesseans. All of the adjacent counties have given letters of support, and they're in favor of it, but just like to at least consider that. Number 2 is a multi-purpose gymnasium for Christ Classical Academy. There's a Christian school there in Dyersburg. That school has grown tremendously over the past 3 to 4 years, and they've done a lot of outreach, and they've done a lot of saving and fundraising, and they just need a little extra help to get a gymnasium and classrooms built to continue to grow. And last but not least, this money is asked for the Northwest Tennessee Port Authority to finish up a railroad that there's a federal grant they have now, but it will not complete the railroad. And this monies are asked for to finish what the federal grant does not pay for. That is it in 38 seconds.
Thank you, Chairman Committee. Page 18, have a couple there. Let me just start with a couple today. Item 240, 155, Tennessee Cheese. I have asked them to come down into the Shelby County area. Tennessee Cheese, as you know, is a well-established organization upon which we modeled the Tennessee Promise years ago. They work with our high school students to get them ready for some form of higher education. And so we have about 8,000 coming out of the Shelby County schools each year. We only have a 49% of those going on to any form of higher education. And so this money will be used for the Tennessee Cheese to come into the school system to help increase those students who would move on. And also they go in there with dual enrollment courses, FAFSA, HEP, and all these things. The request was recurring, so $650,000, but I'd be open to anything of the will of the committee as we get started on this program. And it's important to do because we got Louisville City, as everyone knows, and we need to work on our workforce. If you could then jump down to item 241, Hope Works. This is an organization that's been around for, I know, at least a half a century. They're a well-established, effective organization. They work on reducing recidivism. They bought property trying to build a new dormitory for the gentleman who would be in their service. Jump then to item number 242-157 below that. The Civil Air Patrol, which is great things, are asking for 110,000. I told them I advocate for them for that particular program. They do a lot of good work in our state. And then lastly, 244, item 159, the Cotton Museum, which has an amazing history. They've been around for a long time in Memphis. They're asking for 199,500 to not only to extend their educational programs and but also to refurbish. This is a place where when cotton was king, everything happened right in this. So they're trying to continue to build that. And then the catty corner across, they're currently building a multi-million-dollar new Brooks Art Museum. And so this would help them kind of step up and keep speed and be money well spent for them. With that, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman White. Chairman Moon, if you'll grab a seat between Chairman White and Chairman Crawford, I appreciate it. Next on our list, first in our heart, Chairman Littleton.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's page 14, 180, item 183. And this is, I'm asking for 500,000 for Living in Harmony Ministries to be used for traditional housing for women and their children who are recently released from incarceration and addiction recovery or seeking refuge for domestic violence or abuse. Ms. Tammy Breeden has worked hard inside the jails, ministering to the women. And when they come out, if they're not ready to go home or don't have a place to go, then she finds them somewhere to go. And a lot of times it's out of the state or it's, a different place. But we all believe in helping everyone, but this would be just for women and they could keep their children with them. And we're for prevention and we're for keeping families together when we can. And this is a way to make sure that they start out together. They may not stay there, but at least they get that opportunity to try and be together.
Thank you, Chairman Littleton. Next up, Representative Vital, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee members. May I refer you to page 18, item 236. The first request is for $50,000 for wellness equipment to the underserved community of Birchwood, Tennessee, which lies on the Hamilton County, Meigs, and Ray County line. This goal is to promote health and wellness equipment and encourage people to get outdoors. This community would really like to have broadband service, but since that's going to take a few years, I've encouraged them to get some exercise equipment and we'll work with getting outside and enjoying the outdoors first. So that's $50,000 for the Birchwood Improvement Community League. Second item on page 18, number 237. On behalf of the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, this request is for $3.8,500,000 to expand flood predictor pilot program statewide. The flood predictor tool is an interactive online portal using data and artificial intelligence to create accurate flood predicting maps. This tool would give local officials better tools and prepare for flooding, save lives, and money. This program has experienced success in an initial pilot program in 6 West Tennessee counties with very positive results and data. This goal would expand this program statewide. And last but not least, item number 238 on behalf of the Department of Tourism Development for $200,000 each for the three zoos in Tennessee, and then 4 zoos, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Memphis, and Nashville, and then the Tennessee Aquarium for a total of $1 million. It is my understanding this possibly may be in the governor's budget. Thank you.
I cannot confirm nor deny if it is, but you might be right. So next on the list, Representative Burkhart, you recognize.
Thank you, Chairman. Page 2, item 14, 15, and 16 are my 3. The first one is Department of Safety. continued operation of the current driver's services center located in Clarksville. There's a new one will be under construction sometime in the next year or so. We're asking for $76,100 non-recurring and $627,200 of recurring to operate two centers with the growth that we've had in Montgomery County. And just the one center is just not keeping up. And we, especially with the military and everything like that, that come in and have to change their license. So it's a huge need. Item 15 for Montgomery County, Stokes Field. It's a ball field. It's an area of ball fields that have closed down because the association who was running that just simply shut down. Montgomery County has stepped up, is going to put that field back together. It's right off Fort Campbell Boulevard. It is in a lower income area, and it serves lots of military kids. And we need to get this field back up if we can, because the other is probably 8 or 10 miles out to where the other ball fields are. This is something that's actually walkable for the kids in the neighborhood. And item 16, I'm going to withdraw because Robertson County purchased this, so it will be off your list. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Representative Burkhart. Before we go to Chairman Crawford, yes, Representative Miller, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chairman, when Representative Vital made his presentation, he mentioned that it may or could be in the governor's budget, and you suggested that you couldn't confirm that one way or the other. The question is, would it be appropriate for members to state based on their request if they've had conversations with the governor's office, and some of these requests may very well be in the governor's budget? Just for information purposes.
Thank you, Representative Miller. I think as Chair Lady may want to comment, the governor's staff will be releasing the information regarding his amendatory language in her committee. Chair Lady, would you like to comment on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's correct. This afternoon, Commissioner Bryson will be presenting the amended budget, and we'll know at that time what is in the budget at this point. I'm sure most everybody has talked to the governor or someone in his office about their requests. So I think it's best we'll wait till this afternoon and we see which ones of these we can mark off because they're already taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Lady. Before we get to Chairman Crawford, Representative Powers, if you'll take that first seat, Representative Hemmer the next, and then the third seat, Chairman Eldridge, if you'll take that, I appreciate it. Please try not to throw your iPad at folks. Chairman Crawford, you are recognized. Page number and item number, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will be addressing items 40 on page 3 through 44 on page 4. I'll start with 219. This is for the city of Bristol. We are in negotiation of building a new baseball stadium for our local schools, recs areas, and our minor league baseball team. So we're looking at $4 million as the match to get the $8 million. So item 220 is for the Mid-South Food Bank. This is for food assistance programs and services, and this affects West Tennessee. City of Kingsport, item 221. They have been in negotiation for the last couple of years and have secured that we have a dental school, dental clinic in Kingsport, and this would my understanding, be one of very few dental clinics, dental schools in the whole state of Tennessee. So we're asking for $5 million on that for purchase of property, building, and to bring in the necessary people to teach. On page 4, item 222, this is for Second Harvest Food Bank. This is in Northeast Tennessee, And this also is for food assistant program and services for our local hungry people. And then item 223, this is for Second Harvest Food Bank in Northeast Tennessee. On top of our food distribution center and warehouses, they are in the project, in the first stages of the project of building out an area that would allow indigents and also those that don't have food to come into a volunteer kitchen and receive food for that particular individual for that day. And I'm asking for 500,000 for that. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Crawford. Chairman Moon?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. I'm here on behalf of Blount County Sheriff. He has a senior outreach program. It's made up of 28 volunteers who check on 125 seniors that are basically shut-ins. In 2022, they volunteered over 3,000 hours visiting these seniors. They assess the needs of the individual, looks for signs of abuse, check and ensure they're eating nutritious food, transport them to doctor's appointments, grocery store, and assist in other ways. We're asking for a one-time appropriation of $24,500. The sheriff outfits them with vehicles. There's a significant amount of training goes in so they can identify these issues. And like I say, it's a one-time appropriation, $24,500, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Moon. For the members, that was page 15, item number 195. Thank you. That's okay. Just make sure we communicate. Thank you, Chairman Moon. Chairman Todd, you were recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And then I'm looking at page 18, item number 233. I'm requesting $495,000 in non-recurring money for renovations to the Southwest Tennessee Development District office in order to house the Southwest Tennessee Regional American Job Center. The American Job Centers are designed to provide a full range of assistance to job seekers under one roof. They're established under the Federal Workforce Investment Act, and these centers offer training referrals, career counseling, job listings, and similar employment-related services. Currently, the lease agreement for the center in Jackson is about to go under a significant increase in cost, therefore diverting money from their mission to rent. So the proposed renovations to the Southwest Development District office will provide for the space needed by the center and allow for the housing of the only comprehensive American Job Center for 8-county Southwest region. The center in Jackson will continue to focus on the establishment of programs and services to assist the unemployed in West Tennessee, which has a higher unemployment rate than the other Grand Divisions. In summary, this funding for the renovations to house the center will allow, as I said, more taxpayer dollars to actively assist job seekers and employers and be a significant contributor toward economic development. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Todd. Chairman Powers, you were recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee. This is item 208. And this amendment is for the Campbell County Children's Center, which serves all three counties that I represent, Campbell, Union, and Claiborne County. Claiborne County that I share with Chairman Hicks. I thought that might help my proposal. They intake children who have been sexually.
It does, sir.
They intake children who have been sexually or physically abused. They hold them at the center where they're interviewed by law enforcement and housed until they can get medical attention and into foster care. They've had an increase in children needing care and are anticipating another 25% cut in their federal grant this year. And so this amendment would be extremely helpful in helping maintain their current level of care for Campbell, Union, and Claiborne counties. So with that, I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, Chairman Powers. Representative Hemmer, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Here on item number 135, which is a request to the state for funding for the Travelers Rest Historic House Museum, which was built in circa 1799, which is the oldest historic house open to the public in Nashville, and it seeks inclusion in the Tennessee state budget for much needed preservation and stabilization. Structural engineers with a local Tennessee company have proposed a solution to this problem and other related issues, which will cost $929,000. $474 to ensure the preservation of this important historic site. The repairs need to be done as soon as possible. So that currently the board, which is a 501c3 nonprofit managed by a local board of directors, the property is also owned by the National Society of Colonial Dames of America. And they've owned that since a state gave that to them in 1954. So currently this historic property is under very, very bad disrepair. So they're undertaking a capital campaign, seeking state resources, as well as working with the Tennessee Historic Commission on some grants. So greatly appreciate your interest and support for this project. And the next item, 136, on behalf of the Davidson County delegation, we're submitting a budget request of $500,000 to the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County for renovations to the Metro Courthouse and council chambers that are necessary to accommodate the reconfigured Metro Council. Thank you, members of the committee.
Thank you, Representative Hemmer. Chairman Eldridge, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. We're looking at item number 61, Friends of Hospice Serenity House. Serenity House operates in Morristown. This is an end-of-life facility. The average stay for someone that goes there is less than 2 weeks. And it's a much-needed, they provide a much-needed service there in Hamlin County, and we're requesting $50,000 on their behalf for some expansion of services there at that facility. Next is item number 62. This is for Men of Valor, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with that program. They provide reentry programs for inmates, anything from job readiness training, money management, mentoring, counseling, drug rehab programs, community service. So this is $750,000 in reoccurring funds that we're requesting for Men of Valor. And last is item number 63, which is the Granger County School System. And this is a project, this is an agribusiness project, a CTE training program. Granger County Schools actually bought a 40-acre farm next door to the high school. And they are interested in doing a beef barn project there. It is kind of unique. I think maybe one other exists in the state. There is a great deal of interest up there. We do have I know a lot of people don't like to refer to it as a slaughterhouse, but there is one there. Walter State Community College has started butchery program. We are closely related, or in an area. We have LMU Vets School close to us. We also have UT. And with this particular program, we have been fortunate enough with the work of the school system. They have secured a $300,000 grant with a $90,000 match, and it's subject to the plans being stamped for the barn. And also, just in the last couple of weeks, there has been another grant from the Department of Ag for $150,000. So our ask has been reduced down to $640,000 for this project, and it does include the beef barn, commodity shed, a classroom with a couple of bathrooms. And that is our project for Granger County, and we would appreciate any consideration there.
Thank you, Chairman Eldridge.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm bringing this on behalf of a Rutherford County resident named Chuck Isbell. Chuck's son, Nate, was run over in 2021. He was 13 years old in a subdivision while he was skateboarding. And Chuck is working on a campaign to increase awareness about driving safely in neighborhoods. And he wanted us to request $5,000 non-recurring to go to our sheriff's department that they could use to promote safe driving and to watch out for people that are walking through subdivisions. So we would appreciate your support for that.
Thank you, Representative Stevens. For the members, that's page 18, item number 2, or House Amendment number 167. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Now, I see the committee room is empty of members except for those on the committee. We're going to go through the members of the Committee of Appropriations Amendments, starting with Representative Lynn. You are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have requested $10,000 for the Mount Juliet Little League. They are not operated.
Page 14, item number.
Thank you.
Members, page
184.
14, item number 184 on there.
184.
Mhm.
They are not owned and operated by Mount Juliet. They are a corporation, though the land was initially gifted to them by Mount Juliet. In recent years, they have sustained 2 tornadoes in separate years and straight line winds in a subsequent year as well. And so they are in great need of repairs at their baseball field, and they really do their best. The city does help too, lots of volunteer efforts. And so I've requested $10,000 to help them with all of their efforts. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative Lynn. Next, Representative Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Page 15, item 192 and 193. For programs and services focused on student recruitment, retention, efforts to increase graduation rates. Mr. Chairman, unfortunately, my list is not complete because there's several other HBCUs in the statewide, and again, those forms were not completed on time, but I certainly would be willing to share these dollars with those other institutions.
Thank you. As one of the longest standing members of this committee, I recognize that you recognize that words matter on paper. So if you can talk to the chair lady about that, that'd be great. Thanks for your 2 amendments. Next on my list is Representative Sparks.
Thank you, Chairman. Page 17, item 127. It's for installing of a water main, $1 million ask down Pawpaw Springs Road in Rutherford County. Chairman, this is a difficult piece of property to get water to. The residents have came to me on multiple times, and this is what one of the engineers proposed, that I could ask for a grant of $1 million. It would affect about 20 residents. I just got off the phone with one of the residents, and she said she's reminding the committee that one family has 8 kids. So I'll throw that in there, Chairman. The next item is 128 for a family food ministry for food assistance programs and services. This would affect counties, several different areas in our community. And it would be, let's see, Greenhouse Ministries in Murfreesboro, Journey Home in Bell Buckle, Layman Lessons in Madison, Las Casas Food Pantry in Las Casas, Sanctuary International in Mount Juliet, God's Food Pantry in Smithville, One Generation Away in Franklin, Altamont Food Ministry in Altamont, Tennessee, and Huntland Food Ministry in Huntland, Tennessee, and that's for an ask of $77.50, Chairman. Next item, Chairman, is 129, Carpe Artista Arts Academy for programs and services to support families experiencing economic challenges. It's $87.50. This group is, I've seen the good work they do with working at-risk kids for the arts. My next ask is item 255 for a chess education that we've met with several members up here. The gentleman that's asked me about doing this is Rob Mitchell. Rob just received a grant from $5,000 from the CEO, Marcus Lemonis of Camping World. Camping World put a request out to see what money they could help, and he put that in, and Marcus Lemonis, known as the Prophet, recognized him. The chess program would affect Shelby County, Rutherford County, Hamilton County, Putnam County, and 2 other counties. And as we know, there's a severe mental health crisis, and de-escalation techniques are needed more now than ever. Many feel that the game of chess could really enrich school curriculum to help combat some of the behavior problems and get folks to think and how to think rather than what to think, and aid in many de-escalation issues that's facing our education system. The next ask is something I'm excited about. Number 130 is for the African American Heritage Society of Rutherford County for the creation and upkeep of historic markers and education community workshops. There's an old African American school that's just a simple block building that's left. Sadly, committee and chairman, a lot of these members are passing away, and a lot of the history is leaving with them. It's located right next to the battlefield. The request is for $37,500, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Sparks. Chairman Kiesling, you're recognized.
Aloha, Chairman, and thank you, members. I'd like to direct your attention to page 13, item 163. We'll begin there. This amendment will allocate the funds illustrated to the Department of Tourism for the sole purpose of creating a grant application to provide relief to Tennessee marinas across our state. Now, currently, these marinas are positioned on our Tennessee waterways to provide an important role in tourism and to our state. In turn, this role helps in facilitating millions of dollars to local and state budgets. Finally, this amendment would help in assisting our marinas in their continued support of tourism at not only the local, but also the state level. Mr. Chairman, item number 64, finally, and I appreciate Representative Butler being with me. This is on behalf of he himself. This is regarding Fentress County Highway Department. I want to illustrate to you, hold up, a letter from the county commission. This is a request for $4 million, of which it's a $5 million project. Fentress County are stepping up to the plate, assuring that they would come up with $1 million of this cost in stabilizing a county road. It's a connector road between the highways, state highways 127 and 52 there in Fentress County. It is a very, very serious situation currently. So we would ask for that. And with that, I would appreciate that consideration. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. Aloha also means goodbye. So thank you. Chairman Baum.
Thank you, Chairman Williams. 3 or 4 years ago, this state began a program where individuals could get their undergraduate degree at MTSU and a medical degree from Meharry in expedited time. They were given financial support, and in return, they went to practice in rural communities. Students are about 3 or 4 years into this 7-year program. But the program's been funded with non-recurring money, and so we have to come back each year asking for a new supplement to honor the commitments we've made to these students. Again, they get an undergraduate degree and a medical degree in a 7-year period of time, but if funding is cut off, then they get about halfway through the pipeline here and don't have funding. Dollars for this program benefit 3 things: education, increasing healthcare providers, and helping our rural communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Baum. Next on my list, Representative Barrett. Representative Barrett, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Page 1, item 5, just above Mr. Representative Baum's there. This is a recurring grant, non-recurring funds, but a recurring request that comes up every year for YMCA of Middle Tennessee for $75,000 to fund the YMCA Center for Civil Engagement, which operates the Youth and Government Program and Model United Nations Conference, which comes up to the Capitol every year. So I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Representative Barrett. And last, bringing up the Z's on the alphabet, Chairman Zachary, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very easy to find on the last page at the very end. Item number 257 is for the Knoxville Leadership Foundation. That's one of our great nonprofits in Knox County. They're looking to buy a facility that is going to be a workforce development facility for numerous nonprofits within the community that are partnering with that. Mr. Chairman, item number 258 is Helen Ross McNabb. That is something that we have been gracious and generous to continue to fund on an annual basis. It's for the outpatient mental health services for military service members through Helen Ross McNabb. And the last but not least is 259. Which is also something that we have funded on a continual basis through Best Buddies International. That is for those with intellectual disabilities, and that's for $100,000. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Zachary. Just made it under the wire. Chairman Dr. Representative Kumar, you are recognized. Page 13, members, are his amendments. Chairman Kumar, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. I admire your work and your patience. I have 3 matters to present before you. First of these is House Bill 1315 that goes along with Weight Management Task Force. This was set up by the legislature, and after a year's work, we reached certain recommendations. Certainly, the obesity is a very big problem in our state and with great health implications for our citizens. This bill removes the age limit on coverage of anti-obesity medications for those that meet the criteria of medically necessary as per 10-care rules. It also allows a pharmacist collaborative for dispensing of medications that decrease weight, and the new medications are very effective. Preventive care of weight loss leads to lower incidences of hypertension.
I hate to interrupt you, but the good chairman of Finance Subcommittee has informed me that what you're discussing is a bill up in his committee tomorrow. The purpose of this committee is to hear budget appropriations amendments, of which you have 4 that were filed with the committee. Staff right there can give you a list of those. That would be the purpose of the committee, or not that Chairman Representative Lynn is a member of my staff, but I appreciate her assisting. If you would like to advocate on behalf of any or all or none of those appropriation amendments, we're happy to do that today.
I apologize. I was told by the gentleman in charge of it that this was in the appropriations. Thank you. Among the amendments, budget amendments that I have filed, I would take the number 168, which is 0037, about the Orange Heart Foundation. As you know, Orange Heart was a defoliant that was sprayed during the Vietnam War to defoliate the area so the enemy could not hide behind it. However, unfortunately, it is a dioxin that a lot of our soldiers and people who visited Vietnam during that time were exposed to. Agent Orange is a dioxin so that it gets into the cell and the DNA, and it is even subsequently transmitted to the following generations. It has caused many cancers and illnesses in these people. A lot of veterans have died because of the effects of it. And the unfortunate thing is that although they died during an injury that they received during the war, they were not acknowledged. Their names are not on the wall. And this is a foundation set up in Robertson County by Ken Gamble that since these people did not get their Purple Heart, this is an Orange Heart. And so he gives a free medal to those people who were exposed to Agent Orange called the Orange Heart Medal. And we have a small monument there in Robertson County, and he gives it free of any cost to the family. And to many families who lost their loved ones because of Agent Orange effects, this is an honor and a disclosure for them. It's a very humane thing to do. He has distributed more than 10,000 of these, and a small grant of 25,000 will help him continue his work.
Well, I'm going to interject here. I did not know that existed. As you probably do not know, my father-in-law, Doug Bates, my wife's father, was a combat medic in Vietnam, and he passed from complications and cancer as it relates to his time there in Vietnam and Agent Orange. So I look forward to talking to you after this committee about that. Would you like to communicate any other amendments you have, Dr. Gilmore?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would also like to speak in support of item 165. The number is 0022, and this is from the Tennessee Board of Regents in the sense that Springfield or Robertson County, despite being a community of 70,000 people, have not had a functioning College of Applied Technology. Despite the fact that we are a bit isolated and most of our kids don't go to college, they will greatly benefit from it. About 2 years ago, a small grant was given and 2 small programs are offered. But the facility is housed in a storefront that is donated by local community without rent. And it is not an inviting place, to say the least. And I think the community deserves better. I think our emphasis on colleges of applied technology is very, very crucial. And this is a community that deserves much, much better. And I would really be grateful if the committee and the finance committee would consider funding $5 million for a very good College of Applied Technology that will benefit our community.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. Appreciate you today. Do you have anything else? 30 seconds for less.
Thank you, sir. Number 0023 is the trauma fund, and I'm told that that has been discussed also. And it is the Vanderbilt Trauma Fund. And this has regional implications. It's a great institution, and a lot of the people involved in trauma do not have insurance and coverage, as well as from humane purposes, as well as research. This is a great cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar.
Thank you.
Next up, Chair Lady Moody has arrived. Chair Lady Moody, you are recognized.
Thank you so much, Chairman and Committee. I'm in Criminal Justice Sub, so pardon me for scooting in at the last minute. Pardon me. Members, this is an appropriation that...
Page, Chair,
I'm sorry,
members, page
15.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
After you. Go ahead, Chair Lady.
Thank you. This appropriation, the main directive is to implement an active shooter preparedness program in our Tennessee schools with exact solutions that have not been in existence until now. This includes, but is not limited to, prevention, deterrence, and defense with step-by-step responses, taking into consideration handicapped and special needs persons. School principals or their designees will learn to escape, evade, and defend against an active shooter situation by implementing an unprecedented emergency action plan. And I would like to point out to you that the appropriation, we just about have been able to cut it in half working on it from what we asked for last year. The thing that resonated with me about this was, unfortunately, active shooters are everywhere, not just school. So this is not intended to take the place of any SROs, none of that. We are in full support of that. They serve a very specific and needed role. But what this program does, to me, it gives our children, adults, I think we need it here. It will give you a lifelong skill to be able to know what to do, how to defend yourself, escape, etc. Anywhere you are, anywhere this may occur. And so part of the reason we could cut the cost was because we would be training the principal to go back to their school or their designee. But with that explanation, I'd appreciate any consideration, and I know it's a very important topic, and it's something I really believe in and would appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, Chair Lady Moody.
Thank you.
Members, we've had an opportunity to go through all the appropriations amendments in this committee, and those members who have attended today, we appreciate your patience today and your flexibility as it relates to the schedule. So we're going to go back into session unless the other members have any personal orders or anything. I don't see any. Then we will adjourn. Done. So.